So good morning all of you. Welcome to the last day as far as the technical sessions are concerned, and tomorrow it is the exam for the GAN course. So today we are concluding the session for the next 1.5 hours with security of embedded edge devices. So when you talk about secure and sustainable computing, one aspect of that is when you look at the security from the edge viewpoint, the last device, security of the access point, security of the mobile devices, security of the networks, that is one aspect that we look into, and then we learn about different kind of algorithms, different kind of approaches, protocols that is being used in coming up with better secure plans. So today our focus is try to give you some kind of a notion about how important the device security. Sometimes we take it as granted. Anytime when you talk about the security of a computer system, first thing that we tell is maybe something wrong with the application, something wrong with the program, something wrong with the utility. We always believe that the hardware is secure. Hardware cannot malfunction. Its all problem is the software that is running on top of it. So this session, especially since I work broadly in computer architecture and systems, the area where I would like to focus is how important as far as the security of these devices are concerned. It's security of edge devices. So this is typically generally I talk about a lot of applications we access on a day-to-day basis. During the day itself, maybe at the end of the lecture, the immediate thing that you are going to check it is whether what happened in your social media, is there any update, maybe you look at your WhatsApp, any news feed that is there. So multiple times in a day, we are actually looking at various applications, and these applications make our life very easy. Some use calendar, some use news feed, some use many of the utility software that has been knowing what is been happening. And we all know that these applications are taking this guy granted. There is something underlying, there is something called a computing based system or a computer microprocessor that exists, and it's on top of that we have an OS, and on top of that we have these utility applications that is been running. Now we believe our Google Pay, okay, and then you type your password, and sometimes in the user the interface, let's say you are making a banking transaction, there is a text box. In the text box you are typing your credit card number, and then it is asking what is the validity of the card and the CVV number, everything that you are giving simply in a text box with the hope that everything is going secure. How do you believe it is secure? Okay, you are typing your bank ATM pin, which maybe your wife doesn't know, your children doesn't know, but the ATM machine knows what is the password that you, what is the pin that you are typing. What if this 4-digit pin that you are going to use, how do you know that it is being stored in an extra device also? That means from the keyboard it goes to a buffer, from the buffer it goes into the system, so the last typed keyboard can be there. I can fit in such a kind of buffer. I go into the ATM, put it. It recently happened in Pan Bazaar, where something called the spin storage device, and then I come out, you go into, and then I am going in. So what is the last password typed in? It is by you, and you may type different buttons inside it, and all of these characters are stored. So if you backtrack, what is the last transaction? Yes or no? Do you want a print or not? Yes. Your balance or not? Yes. Do you want to know English or Hindi, whatever? So if you backtrack, you get to know, okay, the 24th character to 27th character last was your pin, and that's the way how it is easily traceable. So ultimately we believe the hardware is safe, and that is the biggest problem as far as the root of trust is concerned. So hardware devices are considered to be safe. So what are the security support needed at the hardware level for using this application safely? So in this talk I am going to focus upon the security primitives that we take it as granted, but which actually creates a vulnerability as far as the security of the system is being concerned. What is hardware? So what is this? Huh? This can be a thermostat, it can be an Alexa device that you can have. These are all small device gadgets, edge gadgets that you have, which sit on top of some kind of a printed circuit board. It has a microprocessor that is been there. Okay, there is a small microcontroller or a microprocessor that is sitting there. You have a phone, the phone have a motherboard, and it just consists of multiple chips that is inside there, and there is a system on chip where there is a timer, where there is a USART, peripheral device, interrupt controller, many other things which you might have otherwise studied in a microprocessor course at your UG level, where you learn about all these aspects. And we believe that, okay, all these things are hardware device, nobody can enter into that, because once it is fabricated, how can some security vulnerability happen there? Now we try to understand how exactly security problems happen in this kind of setup. So this is an electronic system, it's a hardware, it acts as the root of trust, either your printed circuit board or your integrated IC that you have. Cyber security experts have traditionally assumed that the hardware underlying information system is secure and trusted. That was the belief. However, such an assumption is no longer true. Now, if you look at the what is the scope of hardware security, you look into all kind of system vulnerabilities that you in a system that you kind of see in any kind of an electronic system that you have. Almost that you see the trouble created by only the software, that is roughly 37%. Whereas the trouble created by hardware and software put together, some vulnerability in the hardware together with a vulnerability in software account for 43%. And the other 20% we don't know whether the problem is in software or hardware, it's yet to figure out. That's why these kind of courses will help you to create some interest in security. Further you can explore on it. Now I wanted to zoom in. What is this? What are the kinds? So every kind of a security threat that has been happening, detailed analysis was done and trying to understand what would have been the reason, and this reviled the statistics. Now look into this portion extra. We feel that there is a kind of buffer error. Buffer error means the last keyboard value that is typed, it is still there. As long as not a new value that is going to come, it's still there. Let us say I simply type a command, read the password from the memory. That value is kept in register. And then you are going with the process. But still the binary value is stored in a register. Now if the register value is not cleared or overwritten, your password, which was kept in a very secured hashed fashion in memory, raw reading into the hardware, and if you can simply move the value of R1 to some memory location which I have control, and that is your password. Meaning I read a secure password which was in memory into a processor register, and then I left the register open. I didn't do any extra operation that is been doing. Now think of a case, I move something into a register. Now at the end of the program I am simply writing, so register is equal to register 0, or as I am going to complement register. Okay. But after complementing I am not using register. Just imagine I am loading a value from memory into a register. I hope you know what is memory and registers are. And then I performed all the operation, and later I am doing that, so register is equal to 0. If you pass this code to a compiler, the compiler guy is always trying to optimize the code. He finds that okay, this is an unused line, you are making it 0, and that is it, program ended. But that 0 was a security measure. Okay, and the compiler will omit that line. Because the compiler considers that his primary job is to reduce the size of the machine code, whereas it was an extra line that is purposefully added to this, and he called it's a dead code. Dead code means after clearing the value to 0, it is no longer used, and that creates problem. So that is what is known as overall buffer errors. The way in which you leave buffer or registered uncleaned, it's not cleaned well, then it can create problem. Then there are a lot of privileges or permission or privilege or access errors. You are not supposed to access R1. I never bothered about it. You access R1, and when you tell R1 equal to R1, or you are supposed to write a program, and the program is supposed to jump to 12. Okay, that means you are jumping into your own space. Rather than jump to 12, I put jump to 312. Only few bits got corrupted inside the program. The 300 was somebody else's program. So you wrote if A greater than B jump to 12 is replaced with if A greater than B jump to 312. You landed in somebody else's program, and then you execute. Unauthorized access. Wherever access denied has to be shown as access denied, and people get into places where I can flip it or change it. That is called unauthorized access. Then information leakage, that is one thing that we have. Cryptographic errors. There are lot many internal details I am not going to look into, but there are lot many such kind of issues that eventually you are able to see. This is what happens in this case. Computing is in everyone's hands. Now if you see where are the places where computing is going to come into, we don't know. Nowadays we are telling people should not do malpractice, don't come with a phone in the examination. You don't know whether your button has a camera. Okay. So recently we found out one such case where there is a button camera, it will scan. I am reading the question paper very seriously. Okay. So that's been scanned, it's been sent out, and there is a very tiny camera that you see, it is here, and then somebody else from outside can actually do it. So none of the and then we can only check electronic device which is passive or that is going to give. Some will go into a dead stage when you are going to enter into a system. It will not emit any radiation. So when I am going to be frisked by someone, it is a dead device. After 10 minutes, it gets switched on and then it will start working and operating. So there are a lot of tiny devices that is going to be there at different portion, and the opportunity of the, we cannot imagine the kind of devices that are going to be there. Nowadays we talk about, at the time of childbirth or when small kids are born, we will tell a vaccination chart. At the end of this month, this vaccine has to be taken. Now future people are telling we may have a lot of implant devices in different portions of the body, which will check our vital statistics and tell your cholesterol level is high. If you eat all these Lays, Kurkura or KFC, you will going to die in 4 years, or else you will die in 10 years. All these statistics is made, your vital parameters are checked, and sometimes you can get WhatsApp messages from inside the body. Your cholesterol level is not good, you have to walk a lot or you have to do an exercise a lot. So many biological implants are going to be there also, that is going to help. That's the way how the world is going to revolutionize. Now imagine, we are going to talk about autonomous cars. Autonomous cars are going to have chips, and the chips are, we are going to learn about what are the vulnerabilities in it. So whenever I am supposed to apply brake, the program didn't go for the line, brake is equal to brake plus 1, that line didn't get execute, and the car is going to hit and crash, and as per Indian Penal Code or Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, whatever that you call now, who is the culprit? Program. What is the punishment for that? The program malfunctioned, leading to life loss, leading to property damages. There are no cyber laws which will govern. Okay, can you come up? Suppose a Maruti is coming, okay, I have a new car. It's an autonomous car, everything that is there. You are believing a program. What if program make mistakes? Programs ideally don't make mistakes. Programs are tested and it's working very well. Mistakes are happening when programs are stored in place. So our believing is, a program is tested 100 times, all test cases passed, put it in memory, ones become zeros, zeros becomes 1, the meaning of program change, it will execute at the wrong time, leading to different kind of an implication. Was the program correct? Yes, the program was correct. What was wrong? The environment in which the program was stored was not secure. It is not a programmer problem. Programmer told, my program worked very well. Whenever I give A, you are getting function of A as output. This is the place where it's very, very difficult. Now, if these kind of chips are going to be installed in planes, where it is going to measure many vital parameters, we define. Suppose if it is telling, okay, the plane has reached X speed, which is a lift-off speed, then the flap has to be put in. So I was also not much aware of what is happening in these planes unless the recent Ahmedabad plane crash. Then when I sit, because every month I have 2-3 flight journeys, then I sit, is the sound okay? Is the flap going where? Is the pilot sleeping? I am thinking about all this. Suddenly we are aware. And everything is more of a computer science and electronics than aerospace. It's a press of button, some flap has to go up or down. What if on the press of button that didn't happen? It was supposed to be, moment the value become 1, it was supposed to go to 0. Now there is a new line is added, value become 1 and 1 has to be flipped back to 0 after 5 seconds. That is the extra line of code. And when you have two important competitors like Boeing or Airbus, these are the two only one that has been there. If Airbus, with all due respects to all these companies, I am making you understand, they won't do that. Professional companies with a good track record of excellence. What if I am going telling the guy, because I know I am going to buy this chip from this company, make the flag equal to 0 after 30 seconds. And can you imagine now? Because there are a lot of aircrafts which are made out of Boeing was having problem. Suddenly the share of Boeing will come down. There is huge demand for Airbus. The other company gets benefit. What if an autonomous car made of so Hyundai create 4 or 5 accidents? Suddenly the market value of all others will go high and this will come down. So if I cannot perform well through my merit, it's always good. Suppose in a relative grading mechanism, if you cannot study well, that's okay. Other person should not study. That's what you have seen in 3 Idiots movie. During the just before exam, what all things that you do that others are not performing, creating all kind of disturbance from both living things and non-living things that you are going to see, such that the others' performance goes down. So in a really competitive world, when you take security as granted and the security malfunction can be really disastrous, any such kind of malfunctioning is what the rival is looking at. Generally, professional companies always go for a merit-based competition, but this is also possible. Okay, now let us try to see what are the reasons by which how to minimize vulnerability to malicious attack of diverse and complex computing system in the hand of possibly naive users. This is something very important. Whenever you talk about any kind of a device that you are going to make, it takes some time to explore the market, then you plan about the device, then you develop it, test it, and then you release for production. Let us say this took 4 years of time. Let's say Intel or Nvidia, somebody is going to make a chip. I start now so that the chip will get released in 2030. Now with acute market competition, with a lot of startups coming in, with a lot of companies that is going to come in, this entire time process which was taking 3 to 4 years, now the MD will come and tell 2026 January 1 New Year gift, I will release this new product, already declared. Okay. It sometimes happens, the politicians will come and tell, before this Diwali, this bridge is open, or before this the airport is open, this road would be constructed. Then the pressure is put upon the next layer such that whatever they could have done in 2 months should have completed in 1 month. Whatever should have ideal task which will take 1 month, maybe you have to concrete a road, wait for 10 days, then you apply the bitumen on top of it. Now concreting, and in the next day you put tar on top of it. So everything looks very rosy. By the next monsoon there will be potholes. But that doesn't matter, I inaugurated the road. Now somebody, because of acute competition, rather than 2029 release, now I wanted my product to hit the market on 2027, 50% of time. But still I have to do all. I should have ideally spent 6 months in exhaustive testing. Now testing is reduced to 1 month. I didn't check up all these corner cases. Okay. Now I wanted to think that, okay, I wanted to perform the production, and now there are already lot of load on the production. Let's say I have 50 employees in the production unit. Suddenly I realize I have to make lot many of these units, and this employee is not sufficient. Oh, now I have to hire employee, I have to call for an application, conduct written test, go to some IITs, recruit, and then take some candidates, put in. By the time I will be able to miss deadline. Then one fine morning, one guy is walking into the room, sir, we have an advanced manufacturing unit, you outsource this to us, within 1 month, I will release the product to you. So what happens? Everything you done in-house, one of the components, since you don't have enough manpower in order to reach the market on time, it is called time to market constraints. Because of time to market constraints, I agree upon a third party, I am giving to someone. And he also has to complete in unit time. He have already recruited lot many people. And I feel rather than I employ 50 people and do it, it will take $1 million. Somebody else is promising you, you need not give me 1 million. You give me only little, 1/4 of it. I look at the profit. Oh, now my chips cost will come down from $100 to $80, and I can release the market quickly. So this acute competition of hitting into market, and China, India and Africa are the large crowd where you need to do, where you are going to buy a mobile phone and somebody is telling you, sir, 35,000 rupees, extremely secure, wonderful phone, nobody can hit into it, and somebody is telling, sir, 10,000 rupee phone, extra good, but little bit security problem is there. Who cares in India about security? Will you buy the 35,000 rupee for security? People will say, what is the problem? Only my phone, my pictures, some contacts, what is big security deal in this? When there is a competition between price versus security, always price will win in developing countries where people cannot think that I will buy a 35,000 rupees phone versus a 10,000 rupees phone. And that's exactly where this economics is going to hit into. When I outsource to certain tasks to a third party, it is very easy. Think of a case, rather than IIT hiring some employee for, let's say, cleaning, everything, lot of them security staff, then I'll think, okay, their salary, their gratuity, their bonus, their festival elements, their pension. It's always good to talk to a third party. You provide all security services, per person I'll give. We'll outsource our cleaning. So they are not regular staff. What you do? You outsource. Are you able to get the point what I'm telling? And similarly, if I hire an employee, I have to pay him salary for all the 12 months. This is an immediate activity. Once the chip is released, I don't want the employees. So it's always good to go for a contract with someone for this many number of pieces I'll pay you. I don't need to hire an employee. This created an acute competition. So how to reduce vulnerability to malicious attack of diverse and complex computing systems operating in an environment of billions of complex, error-prone, possibly malicious communicating devices built under extremely aggressive time to market requirements. This led to vulnerability. Ideally, you should have checked for 1 year. Now the checking process will become 2 years, and that sometimes there can be some vulnerabilities which you may not be able to know. Okay, any questions till now? Are you able to understand till now? What is the context? So learning security and understanding security from a bigger perspective of what is the relevance, that is also important. Okay. What's this? You see only the globe, right? There are some spots there. That you didn't notice. This is exactly the problem of security. You see the bigger picture, some spots here and there. These are places in which analog mixed signal, processing core, memory controller, networks, IP cores, videos and graphics, major chips are being designed and manufactured. In Silicon Valley, in New York, France and UK, little bit in India, in Bangalore, Chennai and Pune, then Shanghai and Beijing, Tokyo, South Korea. These are the only places it's going to happen. And then what happens? The design, fabrication and supply chain. So I make the design in Silicon Valley. I do the testing in Bangalore. I manufacture in Taiwan. Product are tested in Singapore. Then I'll come. Why can't all this company do this? Testing in New York, I have to pay salary in terms of $100 per day. Whereas testing in Bangalore is $1 per day. So the cost of the chip will come down. So I design some of the important activity paid by sophisticated engineers. Some low-end jobs can be outsourced to some other country where human capital is lower in nature. So your product moves to different countries. Ultimately, the device also is going to come. Have you heard about Trump's tariffs? Okay, but electronics don't have tariff. Why? Have you heard about it? Why we are being charged so high? 50% of taxes an Indian product once in land in US has to pay to go to market. So 100 rupee product, once they reach US, it becomes 150 rupees before going to market. So we cannot compete with other countries with less taxes. But electronics, there is no tariff cut. Apple is manufactured in Chennai. US phones that they are used, it is assembled and manufactured, not the chip. The chip is coming from different place. Putting everything put together and Apple sticker pasting, everything happens in Chennai. So the final product is shipped from Chennai. So Americans, if you wanted to buy Apple, it has to come from India. It's not from, it is coming in American store, but the parcel is coming from Chennai. That's what they want. Pharmaceuticals, there is nothing. If there is 50% cost, the paracetamol will cost huge money. And US has lot many people who have terminal diseases like this, life scale diseases. And India is the pharmaceutical factory for the rest of the world. Our pharmaceutics don't have tax. So it's not about tax, about everything that is being doing. So once the supply line moves from one country to another, an SOC would often contain hardware IP blocks obtained from entities distributed across globe. So previously what we have, companies like Intel, they perform the design which is called hardware design. Then ultimately you have to make into gates, make the chip, and then it comes out the fabrication. So all the stages as far as the developing of a Wi-Fi router, developing of a smartwatch, everything happens in one company. Intel was a classical example. Now I need to have experts in, these are all different stages. If you are not from electronics background, you may not be able to understand, but just imagine ultimately the chip has to come down from the design all the way up to that, there are different stages. It requires different tools, different set of manpower skilled with different kind of capabilities. Okay, so I wanted to release a mobile phone, I have to go through and phone is released. Okay, this is something called vertical one company. One company has all the products. So right from the design all the way up to the product released, everything is from one room of the company, go to the designer, tester, everything goes out. No much security problem, they can talk each other. Now what happened, the horizontal dominant, there are companies which will do only this job, it's called placement and routing. They are very good at this. It may be a startup company with 50 people. They will be able to perform this task at 1/100th of a cost what Intel can do in-house. They have only this software. You give me this, I will give you this. There are some companies which will do only this, which is called fabless companies. There are a lot of companies which can do the design portion. I don't have any kind of fabrication technology. All what I have is a small room like this. We wanted to design a microcontroller, I will do the design, and the design is a file, something like a.c or a.text. That a.text is my output. So companies, what they do, I can simply be a company. I will have a good logo, brand name, everything. 5-member company. What I will do? I will first contact this guy, how much money that you want. Okay. So he will tell, sir, give me $50. I give him, at the $50, I will get the output. Now I contact the second company. I will give the product to this company. He will add another $50, 100, another $50, 150, $200. Cost of the chip. What I do? I just handle this. 4 different companies I contact. $200. $200 I am able to get this. Whereas, had I done here, it will go to $800. Now you are going to market. In the supermarket, someone is telling both are cell phones, okay? And the salesman is telling, sir, this is developed completely inside one room, very safe, $800. Sir, this is $200. Now end user is coming and asking, what is the difference? Both is fine. Both will work correct. Will someone buy this? Intel is doomed now, down. Intel is on the verge of closure. I cannot handle this because this will not work if you don't have new products that is coming in. So for 4 months, your team taking care of routing don't have work, but I have to pay them salary. That's the place. So here what happens? Intel chip I will process from January, February. Qualcomm I will manage from March, April. So I make sure that all the time my guys have work. I handle from different companies. So these fabulous companies will go through. And sometimes they reduce the cost also. This company I am giving to this guy. I only know there is a company which will provide me this. He may be outsourcing to another guy. For another $80, what I pay him is 100. He will give for another 80 and 20 is his profit. So all what he has, 2 executives, go there, get the money and come back, I am outsourcing. Actually, this may be getting done at somewhere in some remote corner in China for $10. That's why we tell China products are very cheap and quality. And they may be using pirated software to do this. If they use original version of a software, then you may not be able to do. It's a pirated version of software that happens. It may have vulnerability. I ask the software to put X, but the software may be putting X. X will work. There is something else also which will store all the values that is being stored and periodically sent to China every 24 hours. I will tell you one more interesting story that happened because of this outsourcing. So in African nations, they build an African nations parliament. Multiple African nations come together and once in a while, the MPs or the representatives of various African countries sit in a conference room like this and they do. Have you seen the mic? This mic have you seen? So they made only a condition. China was willing for doing all this kind of thing because China wanted Africa to grow. Okay, I want our brothers to grow well. So I will give you support. I will give you all the money that is required. They made only one condition. Whenever you plan furniture, chair, mic, paint, AC, switch, it should be a global tender. You cannot look for local African country center. Put globally that all the global companies bid for it. And it has always happened that when I bid, bidding means I am asking, I want to buy a projector. What is the charge? So different companies will quote. Which will I go for? Lowest. It has always happened that the Chinese company come with the lowest one. Okay. Now can you see the microphone, the table, everything was from Chinese companies. So the entire room was built with products coming from China. It's okay. So what China is giving? China giving you $500. With the $500 you are buying a furniture that comes back to China. But I gave you loan. Additionally, my product is getting exposed to Africa. Now all these equipments that you have, it works. What is the purpose of that? When I speak, everyone should hear. But when I speak, it was storing also. Simple. Now imagine our Prime Minister and Defense Minister are speaking each other about Operation Sindoor. So Prime Minister Modi is asking Rajnath Singh, come, let us have a discussion. This is what we do. They are sitting here and maybe it's a conference room of all the army chiefs. Is it made in India? Who knows? Made in India may be costly because IITs also go for lowest cost. Okay. This was communicating, it is storing. Now what happens? It has a small wireless module. In the night, this wireless module will be acted. Whatever happened in this room, that is getting transferred to some predetermined known location. So when African nations speak, okay, let us have an agreement with China, I come to know exactly which country is opposing and which country is supporting us. Make in India, whatever. I don't know the internals of this. I don't know the internals of many things what is being stored. Okay. You are believing your phone, you are taking your private picture. Okay, good. Okay. It's not out, not to be given to friends, but it is happening. You feel its device is working, right? You just imagine you are attending a Google Meet and then you are turning your camera off. And then I am not attending, maybe my department head or you are going to talk to the supervisor is giving some gyan to you. You should study well, you should do research well, but then camera is off, you are hearing. What if in between you are dancing here, thinking that the camera button that you are believing, right? That button off means it is not going outside. What if actually it is going? It's a belief of a color, right? Just because it is red, you believe it is not going. What if on the back end it is different? Everything is a belief. So in that case, what happens? We don't know exactly what are the additional things that is getting used. Okay. Sometimes, will you be able to do everything? Okay, think of a case. You have a cell phone, you have a WhatsApp chat. How many of you can openly show your WhatsApp chat to all of your family members? Fine, very good. Others are not confident. There can be something which I chat with some of my friends. Maybe my parents may not be able to digest. Okay, why are you talking at this time to this lady, even though this is a friend? And you delete it. It deletes only from your phone. It's still stored somewhere. And that is good enough for you to blackmail at some point in time. Simple. So there can be always some communication which you don't want others to know. Maybe I wanted to keep that a secret, a professional secret or whatever. So all these vulnerabilities will actually force us into a scenario. Look up this mobile phone where all potential attacks can be there. Attacks on privacy via malicious apps, your libraries, the pictures, the SMS that you sent. By looking at your calendar, you go, now in calendar I am telling tomorrow I am going to Jammu. There is a program in Jammu. My calendar is leaked. Oh, tomorrow John is not in Guwahati. Steal your house. See the problem of how calendar which is vulnerable. You are imagining that your contacts, your emails, your music that has been there, everything that is there. There are lot many premium services that you have. Your cards, that is storage, near frequency communication, browser attacks is possible, malwares on games, exploit mobile cloud apps, plenty of issues that are been there in the simple device that you can think of if it is not protected well. Because it's a combination of many things, hardware and software level put together. Okay. Now, the other important aspect that is concerning of security of device is counterfeit ICs. When you go and then tell you have an Apple product, let's say your keyboard in the Apple is not working, you go to Guwahati city and then go to some sensor shop, you are telling my keyboard is not working. Do you want original or duplicate? Have you heard this question? Original 10,000, duplicate 2,000. Now you ask, will both work? Everything works. It's a keyboard. No, when you press the A, it should go as A. A should not go as Z or Q. Which one you buy? Duplicate. Why? Then why are you sitting in this class? Secure and sustainable computing. You understand it is given. How the duplicate product is obtained? How the duplicate product is obtained? Once I get an original product, I reverse engineer. What is reverse engineering? I have shown you the different levels, no? System design. I have the final product. Develop tools such that I can look at the chip and see what is the internals. And once you get what is the internal circuit, you look for the next level. That means if I have an output code available, I have a machine code. What a compiler does? You have a program written in C or C++. You translate into machine language. And you are telling machine language is what you learn in school, machine language is not readable. It can be read only by machine. What if you develop a software which can read a machine language and give high level language as the output? Do you learn any kind of systems now? No. What if such a kind of a program exists? Is it good? Is it good or bad? Bad for whom? It's relative. It depends on which side you are. So, a company developed you a product which will tell, sir, the product, I have the source code. I am not giving you the exact high level language. The product is installed in your computer. It works. Okay. What if I take the product, it's fully machine code, I apply my program, I got the high level language. Once I got a high level language, I can make edits. I can develop. So, you don't have the source, you reverse engineer and get the horse. So, it's like going back. Once I go back, I can always produce my own way of doing this. This is called counterfeit ICs. Okay. So, you have ample sneak paths to insert counterfeit chips because of the global distributed semiconductor model. Another way I am telling, I am asking you to make cell phone, right? I give you the design, I am asking you, give me 100 cell phones. What will you do? You make 110 cell phones. 100 I give it to you, other 10 go to the market. Okay, so as per my record, only 100 cell phones are serial number, everything. Other may be going to some African country, it will never come to the general, they don't want any warranty or other thing. So, overproduction. I am asking someone to produce something for me, I give the design, the agreement is between you and me. You will make only 100 fonts, all the 100 fonts that you make will come to me. It is a gentleman's agreement, but people are not gentlemen. If everybody is gentleman, there is no need for police force in this country. And India has the maximum number of police in the world, a country of criminals. Okay. So, ultimately you overproduce and overproduce come to the market. Okay. Now, I am giving you to do the first process. Let us say you have 4 processes, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 and stage 4 is the design. I gave to stage 1, you make the design and give it to me. He made the design and it was a copy paste to me. It was not a cut paste. Now, what he will do? He will give the design to the second company. Are you able to understand the logic what I am telling? I am the first company. I give to A to make something and give it back to me. And then I give it to B to do something and give it back. Then I give it to C and C is your final product. Okay. So, there are 3 processes in my design. A, which I don't have ample people, I give it to A, come back, I go to B, come back. This was copy paste. Now, this A will sell this to another, this is called T, T is one company, Q is another company. Now, Q is a BTech fail, he wanted to start a startup. So, somebody told this whole process will take $1,000. This A is selling, A and Q are batchmates, same class, okay. A studied, Q didn't study. Now, what will A tell? I will give you a design for $10. What was the design? This one. Because A is keeping it. And this Q will come to the same B. And B will produce back. And this will send to this. $500. After 10 years, he becomes CEO. This guy is still struggling. You know where the cheating happens? Because all these are soft resources. All are soft resources. It's a file. I can copy paste. This happens only in computer science domain. If I ask you to manufacture a truck, once a truck is manufactured, once I take it, the truck is no longer there. But if I have a program, if I take it, the twin is there and I can be used it again. I can multiply it. So that's the way how IT companies sometimes make profit. You are South Indian Bank, you want a software to be written by me. I develop a software for you. I will tell, oh, your program is so complex. I put 30 engineers. 5 months they worked. So this is your software. 1 crore rupees. Thank you, sir. We are a good customer. Suddenly State Bank of India is coming. I want banking software. Oh, banking software you want? I will take another 30 the engineers. I have to put it for 5 months. Since you are one of the premium customer I have, I will give a special discount for you. You give me only 90 lakhs. But the program was already. It is called a replace button. Wherever you see South Indian Bank, replace with State Bank. Because for a banking operation, it is debit, credit, all things are same. Because Sir, you want the software early? For the first one, I cannot. He is asking, can you give in 3 months? No, I'll take 5 months. You want software? Then the State Bank of India is saying, I want software quickly. Then what will I do? Sir, I can put you, because you are very, very important customer, I will give you at 50% cost. 15 days, I will give you. 15 days means charges more. Already software is there. At the end of 14th day, in order to make sure, no, sir, we tried level best, it will take another 3 more days. This is all build up for Oscar, okay? Actually, the software is ready. If you give in 15 days, it looks very simple. So on 18th day only you will give and you will bill it. As long as so many banks are there, you will be easily able to beat it. So this is a problem. It's a soft resource, it can be reproduced. So reverse engineering, that has been there. Can you see this? One is fake, the other one is real. So once I was part of a committee where a student forged the seal of IIT Guwahati and then he made another seal, some fake document was there, and I was put in the committee to find it out. We could capture it in 2 minutes. The one with very sharp border, okay, that was the one which was the fake seal. The reason is the seal of computer science department, which is very old for the last 20 years, every day we are pressing, it become blunt. The one that is recently made in Core 3 Bani Mandir, it will be fresh. So A looks exactly like A. Our CS department, A has some holes in between. Okay? This looks little fresh, right? Is the color good, more attractive, little more darker, not like shady color? So this is called fake and other one is called real. How it is produced, the design is already outside. It all happens because of a test. Okay? And everything is stored in a the machine that you have. Okay? So now just imagine, Adil is my postdoc scholar, I didn't like him. For example, then think of a case, all my documents, all our work, research, everything is there. One day I am firing him. Okay. I will go and find Sarjan. On the day before firing, he copy all the files that is available in the department, all the work that I do, my old question paper, everything he copy and then he go. And he can reproduce and write for textbook. Because it's a soft resource. Are you able to get the point what I am telling? This is exactly where counterfeiting ICs are been flourishing. Okay. Find out the difference between genuine and counterfeit. Do you know what is meant by the counterfeit? Same product developed by someone else. Find out genuine and counterfeit. Where is the problem? It looks exactly same. And making counterfeit also is another startup. I will give you the exact product. This all will work. Okay. Because for cell phone, if it is a counterfeit, maybe it may not have that much life. It may be aged in 3 years. But the life of a cell phone is not 3 years. Before 3 years, we will change it. So what if I am telling I will give you 15-year warranty to a cell phone? Who bothers? Whereas when you tell 15-year warranty for a fridge, for a washing machine, for a car, still it works. If you go and tell warranty for a cell phone for 15 years, this is the price. Will someone take it seriously? No. So these products all may fail. But the life of this product, even from the user's experience also, is going to be like that. Why hardware IP? That once you develop, at the end that design is directly available to you. I can reuse it. There are different players that is going to be there. Some are soft IP, something like your C programming code. Similarly, we have hardware description code. Some are at the register transfer logic. Let us not go into that. Some are binary files. That is there. Once you have the binary file, it is easy to develop chips. Let us now go into it. Now, the other way of, when you look at secure IP, in military or chemical, or suppose if I will tell you a military application, especially for US or many other companies, whenever any kind of an equipment, let's say I have an aircraft, a fighter aircraft, that's going into war. There is a possibility that someone else can shoot me down. What is the threat if someone else shoot me down? I go for a fight, someone else shoot me down. Okay, I may lost my two captains or 2 wing commanders. That's one side of it. Anything else technologically problem. Are you allowed to go to the army cantonment inside to go and see the equipment? No. Why? What is so secret in it? You are seeing an equipment, the equipment's design, the photograph, everything, if it is leaked outside, it will give an advantage to the other person to design it. So, if this aircraft is in an enemy country, it gives others a chance for reverse engineer. Oh, this is how the gearbox is, this is how the things work in. They will get to know the design of our, let's say, F-35. Oh, that means all of your devices are this design and I know the vulnerability. So, what they typically do is they have a kill switch. Kill switch means if that button is pressed or that is there, the entire thing will blast, nobody will be able to understand the design. So, once there is a vulnerability you happen to be exposed, I can perform the kill switching operation. Similarly, ICs also have such kind of a mechanism. If it is connected, if it is something, if somebody else is going to do. So, there are different kind of mechanism by which. So, one important aspect is going to be kill switch, sometimes an encryption, sometimes periodic licensing. Someone else got my machine. For example, my missile a militant got. Now, he can reuse it, right, once if you know the design. Or suppose if I got a fresh design, one missile and its controller, everything a militant got. Now, he can fire it. So, I need to remotely control, or else every day morning you have to type a password. So, he got the device, but tomorrow morning if it has to work, tomorrow's password has to be typed. That password is only with me. So, it is not only about getting the device. Imagine your laptop every day has a different password. And the password is known to you. Password of August 28, password of August 29. That's a booklet itself that comes to you. Imagine this login password comes to your mobile phone every day morning. Let's say you bought a Google's laptop or an IBM laptop. Every day login password is coming to you. So, even if someone steals your laptop, he cannot use it. Daily licensing. It is an overhead. So, future is something similar to that. That's the way how it is going to be. Similarly, your ATM pin. Your ATM pin will come to your phone. Imagine. So, your phone and ATM pin has to go together. How many of you have multiple ATM cards? Only one ATM card or this? Multiple ATM cards. Is the password of all the ATM cards same? 90% of people have password of all the ATM cards. Even the highest security scientist also, it may be true. Now, if I talk with you 2 days continuously, your date of birth, children's date of birth, wedding anniversary, parents, date of year, roll number of this year or something that is connected, if I know you very closely, then at least few digits in the 8-bit password or this 4-digit pin I can crack. So, security vulnerability is so high that predictable pattern and kind of re-engineering that has been there. Now, have you heard about watermarking? What is watermarking? What is watermark? The currency note as a watermark, which will show that it is really authentic. Overproduction is one problem in the electronic industry. One way is like I am asking you to produce 100 and each of these 100 ICs may have its own serial number. So, another 10 that you overproduce may not have the genuine serial number that I give. Now, when these chips are being used, how do I authenticate they are genuine? There is something called digital watermarking. Watermarking is equal to a signature. You might have learned that, okay, I digitally sign. Was any topics covered using public encryption, private encryption, something? These things were covered in some topics. So, that ensures that the source is authentic, digitally signed, so the receiver can verify the authenticity of the sender. It is possible in an electronic transaction. How do you authenticate that a device that you buy is genuine product or not? So, it has to be registered with manufacturer. That is what you do. You have to register. But how do you verify that the component itself is authentic? There is something called digital watermarking. Digital watermarking is when you have a device, a product, based upon its feature, a number is engraved. It is not like a number. Then if you put 2340 is the number, I can put 2341. It is not a number that is typed. It is a signal that is generated from the device back to me when I give an input. I am asking you, what is square root of 49? This is just to check whether you know maths. So you will tell 7. Okay. That is kind of a response. So I am asking you always a question, and then for that you are giving a response, and that response is the property of the chip. So every chip will have a unique such a response depending upon some important aspect of this. Let us not go into the detail. So now what happens? I have to check the signature. For any IP design that you do, this digital watermarking is a technique that you can read further how it is there. If the watermark says, so when you get a new chip for assembling, you have to check whether the signature of that device is same as the signature that is embedded on it, the digital watermark that is embedded on it, and then only it is going to be valid, or else that particular chip is going to be invalid. Okay. So what happens is, I am asking Intel, let's say there is an Apple manufacturing company, Apple phone manufacturing company at Chennai, where Apple is selling, I will give you 100 Apple processors. So you will get it 100. Out of that 99 only has watermark, one has come in between through some other wrong source it came. So every time when I assemble the phone, a processor I am taking, I am checking is the processor watermark correct. So they have told, okay, these are the watermarks that are genuine. So I have to see what is the watermark. Okay, watermark is this particular number. Okay, that number is there in the tick. So you will get some watermark which is not there in the authorized list. That's the way how you are going to capture. Okay. You see some numbers that is written under the currency, some serial number. Ideally that should not have been duplicated. But how do I know whether it's duplicated or not? Some number it comes, whether it is J, P, Q, no connection between them. It's very difficult. You have two currencies that is all matching with the same cutoff. Even if you have a fresh set of currency, there is a wide range between the number that is being printed. So suppose if I make 10 currency now, these 10 currencies which just printed also will vary a lot on that number, that unique number that is being printed. It's not like only the last digit vary. No, they are all totally different. But only the Reserve Bank of India knows, okay, whether this kind of a number exists or not. That means for all the number combination, there is no currency. Suppose if you tell ABCD is one currency, you are thinking ABCD is okay, ABCE is okay, ABCH is okay. No, ABCH may not be a valid currency at all. So the Reserve Bank of India decides which all number series are genuine, which are fake. That's something like a watermark that you tell, which is a property of it. So digital watermarking is something. Now when you have any kind of device, I am sure that this Alice and Bob is the most culprit in all the security stories. I don't know whether there is no Raman and Raghavan or Ram or Sita. Maybe we have to write textbooks with that. Okay, so we have to talk about three things. Do you know what is the difference between confidentiality, integrity and authenticity? Is this terms discussed over the last 3 days? Yeah, what is the difference? Whenever somebody is coming and telling you, I am a security expert, this is one of my favorite questions. Even some of the people who applied as faculty members, means faculty, new faculty position, sometimes in some colleges I go as subject expert in order to select faculty members, or even I go to some companies to help them to select candidates. Someone tells security. My first question is differentiate confidentiality, integrity and authenticity. The moment they tell they are security expert with a lot of publications research, if this answer goes wrong, I don't believe in those publications at all. Who wanted to give a try? Lot many security researchers. Confidentiality means whatever I sent confidentially to you, no one else should be able to read it. Okay? So I am sending to this, if another person should read it. This diagram itself only is clear. This is not allowed. This is a violation of confidentiality. So that means I encrypt it using some mechanism, which decryption only this guy knows. Someone else is reading, but they don't know how to convert it back into the original measure. So encryption technique is actually increasing confidentiality. Second one, is known as integrity. I am sending a message to you, I love you. Okay? What he do? Love is replaced with hate. I hate you. You hate me? That's the question. So what happened? I send a message. You are receiving a different message than what I sent. So the person who is sitting in this modifies the message. So what happens? The integrity means whatever was the real content, what you receive is a different content. So what happens? I got a wrong communication. Okay? This happened in old stories. I am telling to my neighbor country, I am a king. I told my neighbor country, let us attack. A is telling to country B, let us attack C tomorrow morning 5 a.m. Okay? So I send a messenger. Now this messenger was being captured by someone, and then somebody else is going and telling that I am the messenger of the other thing. Tomorrow morning 8 a.m. we will attack. So 5 a.m. you go and attack, telling that the other guy will also attack at 5 a.m. When you independently go and attack a big power, I will get beaten. This is the way how it started centuries before. It was an integrity attack. Someone else in between is changing the message. I wanted to send you some message, someone else interrupted, and this guy has no idea. How do I know you are the messenger of this king? Some signature mechanism has to be there. So this is something called hash, whatever that is been there. And what is called the third one? Authenticity. See the simple diagram? Sender is a genuine one. I am telling that I am coming from this. This guy actually sent, but it got changed. Here that guy didn't send anything at all. But I am telling I am coming from so and so person. This is known as authenticity, and that is also to be done with message authentication code. So anything that you talk in security, sometimes confidentiality has to be ensured, sometimes integrity has to be ensured, and sometimes authenticity has to be ensured. So example of an attack, then fake routers, tampered solutions, that has been there. Tampered smart meters. This is of hate demand. Okay. So this story is happening in Saudi Arabia. What is the peculiarity of that Saudi Arabia as far as the energy usage of the rest of the world is concerned? Oil, petroleum products are gone from that. So you have to pay. You have to pay how much? Pay per barrel. For every barrel is some liter crude oil, I have to pay him. So my ship will go and stand there, and then I am filling the crude oil, and I have to pay at the end. How do we check it? There is a smart meter. There is a smart meter. Now whenever, rather than one, you go to fuel tank, those who use vehicles, you go to a petrol pump or a fuel pump, and then you feel happy when the meter shows. I ask him to fill 1 liter, when it becomes 1.01, you feel happy, no? Oh, extra through 2-3 molecules I got more, I am profit. I ask him to pay for 500 rupees, and the moment visually I see he has put in 502, thank you bhaiya, you tell. What is the real problem? What if for 500 only 498 goes into my kitty, which I am not bothered? I am looking at the display 500, I am happy. Correct? This is exactly what happens. Actually 500 liters flown, but the meter is showing 498. So when really 502 flows, then only meter show 500. So what I am paying? I am paying less money, but I got more quantity. Okay. So what happens? For Saudi Arabia, these devices are not manufactured in Saudi Arabia. They only have oil. They don't have the meter for oil, but the meter is coming from China. And later they found out that many such meters are faulty, and meter can be configured. What is called configuring? It has a wireless control. When Chinese ship comes, the meter works faulty. When an Indian ship comes, or a Bangladesh ship comes, or a Pakistan ship comes, the meter is ulta. So I am helping my friend. Saudi Arabia gets profit. He get profit. I am earning you. But he is not knowing it. Overall, he is getting the benefit of this without anyone knowing. I can configure it. It has to act faulty. Similarly, energy meters, can you just imagine? We are all paying electricity charges based upon the energy consumption. What if it becomes 1 unit at 0.99 unit, or what if it becomes 1 unit? But so, can you imagine the revenue associated with that? It's huge, humongous money that is going to come in that. So these are all like tampered smart meters. Sometimes fake routers are there. This fake router problem is something very, very genuine. This is the problem with respect to warranty. Now people are going for devices which don't want warranty at all. Huh? You don't want warranty? Sometimes you go and argue with the customers. Means you argue with the shopkeepers. I want warranty 5 years. What are you telling? Indians are so much crazy about freebies. What is warranty? 5 years, no money you spent. Everything comes free of cost, easily replaceable. I'll tell you the story that happened in the First World War. It comes from Xerox machine. How a Xerox machine won the war. This is about the weakest link in the war room. Okay. What is the purpose of a Xerox machine? Photocopies. So, is there some confidential operation that is happening in the director of the IIT's office? Many important secrets which don't want others to know. But the photocopy machine knows so many secrets. Yes or no? Yes. Now you got to know lot many security inputs. Actually, we should know about sustainable, secure computing. I am teaching you lot many vulnerabilities. So now a document that is been signed by director, it has to go out to Delhi or wherever. There is something called office copy keeping. One copy to be kept in the office. So director signed, the staff there put it in the Xerox machine, and then yeah, one copy is there. So how many copies now exist? 2. One is the original, one is the copy. The moment we think it is 2, we are fools. Now, after 20 days, the newly bought Xerox machine is not working. Okay? Then what happens? Warranty period. So the service person will come. I should get an appointment to meet director. I have to wait for 1 day. Own employee. Some guy with a walking easily and then going into the room and then fixing it. Sir, memory card problem. After that memory card replies, okay, warranty period. No money, no? With money is giving, that's a problem. IIT has to go through so many process to pay you 10 rupees. You have to come free of cost from Panbasar all the way. Even if you come from Calcutta or Delhi, warranty period, we will not pay any money. He comes and then goes. So some faulty component is replaced. Will the security check what all things that you are getting? No, there is a memory card problem I am taking. What the memory card contains? Set of all copies that is been taken over the last entire time. Now you learn about the story of Xerox machine and World War. Just type in Google Xerox machine and World War. In Soviet embassy, a machine was kept, which is a Xerox machine, and they came to know that this Xerox machine was supposed to malfunction. And then you got to know the important details, how the weakest link through which you got it. So every time this is supposed to malfunction, and every 30 days they will tell, first 30 days there is going to be free servicing. So this person will come and then do. It was a small, but the person who went to replace don't know that the secrets are coming out. He is only a service engineer who go, morning he takes a fresh piece of memory, evening he go back and give the old piece of memory that is being used. So the Xerox machine story is very famous, which happened in Second World War. What is the strategy planned in the war room? So such a security vulnerability has actually win certain countries' wars. So what I want to tell about fake routers also is, today your router is not working, tomorrow I am telling, okay, something is not working, they come and change some components. What if some additional extra fitting that is there which you don't know? As long as our device is working fine, we are happy. We never think that whether the device is doing anything which is not supposed to do. All what we want is the device should perform the task which is supposed to do. That is our definition of correctness. Agreed? It is doing something else also. So I am having a maid in my home. She is supposed to cook. She is supposed to clean. She is supposed to wash the utensils. Yes, good cook, good maid. But in between, she is opening my drawer and looking at some of the documents. That is not told, that is not checked. As long as the other activity is working prompt, you never find out that extra doing. This extra doing which is not checked is what is creating security vulnerability. So there are physical attacks also that is possible. Now I will talk about side channel attacks in devices. Have you heard about this? Side channel attack. So how many of you are from electronics background? 2, 3. Okay. So what is side channel attack? How do you get it? Yeah. So during your school days, sometimes if the teacher come in morning trying to ask you some questions in the very beginning of a class, very serious, very angry note, asking random questions, what you will tell? Today sir had a fight with the wife. Because the physical emission that is happening, the anger tone, you are able to, something happened today morning, maybe his wife asked him to clean some clothes or something, that is why he is coming in this tone. So when a circuit works, when it performs an operation, when it performs a computation, there are many other activities that is surrounding in and around it. It can be in terms of power dissipation, it can be in terms of heat that is generated, and then when I observe that, okay, here more power is consumed, here less power is consumed. More power means it might have executed function X. So at this time function X happened, this time function X is not happening. So this is something known as, I can measure about what is the operation. I can predict with a reasonable confidence what is that is been happening inside a device. And that is what is known as side channel attack. And India is one of the major research group in IIT Kharagpur. They have a fantastic setup on side channel attack. Side channel attack means I can easily predict with some probes and other thing based upon computation. I can even predict the keys that is been used in a computation. It's easily breakable, that is there. So side channel attack is an attack on the channel between communication parties. Encryption and cryptographic operations are in the black box. So recently my daughter is telling, when we were in old quarters, sometimes from the adjacent quarters you see steel vessels falling down and some kind of an unpleasant noise that you hear. So my 10-year-old daughter will tell that uncle and auntie is fighting. Yeah, because the vessels going down, shouting going on. So I as a passive entity observe the noise that is been coming out and make a reasonable conclusion. Sometimes they may not be fighting, but 90% of the time, looking at the emissions that is been coming out from there, I could easily predict what is that is been going over there. Okay. So yesterday I went little late. So I told my wife I will come at 6 o'clock to buy something from the market. I was busy, so I reached around 8:30. Okay. So then when I went, I could see her face is like this. Then I understood from the side channel attack that it is not advisable to go near now. Take care of your body and health. After 1 hour, let the heat settles, then we can manage. So when you will be able to predict also what is the kind of computation that is happening by looking at the operations that is been doing. Sometimes this encryption operation that you do, you have no idea what is the encryption process because you don't know the key. But when you do an encryption, it's a very complex process, mixing, permutation, adding, shuffling, multiplying. Lot of your ALUs, your multipliers in the circuit will work. So when you perform an encryption operation, suddenly the power consumption increases. When you copy something into a matrix or adding, power consumption less. And according to the power, the heat generated would be more. So when you have probes, you get a fair idea of when is power consumption high, when is power consumption low. Now I know this is the place where the graph goes up. Now I forget this. This is the time where exactly my encryption happens. So reading of the key, S box, P box, all computation happens here. Now can I zoom it and find out which portion? So AES encryption means I am bringing something, some value, I am mixing another value, adding something in the matrix. So now I look at the input of the ALU by some probes exactly when it gets loaded. How do you multiply A into B? Ultimately you tell it is an encrypted raw thing, it has to go to a multiplier and A into B I have to do. So when the multiplier gets loaded with the value, if I am able to get that with the advanced equipments, okay, multiplier get loaded with the value at clock cycle 13,420. Now before that, when will the value come from? The value will come from memory. So can I tap the memory? When it moving from the memory, it's like I am moving from office to house. In between I am caught. Okay. So the moment I know when I am going to perform my operation, when I am going to come out, these are the ways in which I can figure it out. So how do I do it? So devices send a sample plain text. This is basically like you have a laptop, you have a circuit where the basic operation is simulated. If you have an oscilloscope, it can sense what is the radiation and accordingly feed it, and in the CPU or in the screen I can see how much the power consumption that is there. Yeah.
Is it possible to probe with such precision, like exact clock cycle, like you said, zoom in on that?
Not exact clock cycle, but within hundreds of cycles it is possible with the advanced precision equipments. And that's the way how this hacking happens. Now there are more simpler ways to do. I don't want exactly where to, I only want the key. I will tell you how the key number is being captured, okay. So that's physical attack. Now look at this. Let S equal to 0. I am performing an operation. K value is loop. This is a simple C code, okay. K equal to 0 up to some W minus 1. If bit K of X is a big array, I am looking if bit equal to 1, then I perform this. Okay. If it is 0, then I perform something else. So what I am telling is, let's say this is my key. I am checking one by one. If 1, perform X. If 0, perform Y. This take 1 nanosecond. This take 10 nanosecond. Okay. I didn't go for any probing. Now, when will I complete this function? I complete this function, what would be the time associated? A into 10 plus B into 1. What does it tell? Number of ones and number of zeros I will get. I know this is 32-bit. So based on the computation, many of the encryption algorithm, if it is 1 you do this, if it is 0 you do this. This is an example. Can you see that? If bit of K equal to 1, then I perform this operation. Else I simply copy into an array. This is a mode function. Imagine this takes more time. Okay. So the side channel attack, what happened is A into 10 plus B into 1, I got some number. So now if I can overall tell how much this overall function take 380 seconds. How do I know? Because when I do this, it has 1 power. When I do so this power sample took 380 seconds. Other one take only 30 seconds. So I know 380 seconds I was inside this function. That means I know there is 32 bits. So what are the possible number of ones? That much I will get. Once I get the number of ones in the key, then the attack become easy. I will tell you one thing. I went to this supermarket in market complex and I was using my credit card 2 years before. Then I was typing the keyboard. I mean, they will ask you to type the pin. My younger daughter was at that time 5 years. So in South Indian language, they call Appa and Amma. I am from Kerala. My younger daughter was telling, Appa, I know your last digit is 4. She didn't do. So now what happens? Total 9,999 combination. The last digit is 4. What is the now the problem of attack happened is, if someone hear it, because she saw only the last digit what I put, and then when I took the hand, she know, I know your pin. So as if finding some secrets of father, last digit is 4. So now you need to fix only 3 digits, right? Then if somehow you find out when I am starting the first one, then it becomes 99 combination. So once you get to know the number of ones, and imagine, let us say this is heavily dominated by this. Okay, the number is in such a way that this is some 25 ones. That makes it very easy to check for the number of ones that is been easily possibly doable. This is one way of observation. How can you handle this? How can you handle this?
Equal distribution of zeros and ones.
No, that is not possible. The key is getting some extra process that has been coming in between. Okay. So it is as good as like sometimes I also play the trick. So if I get some job, let's say my wife is telling John, go to market complex, buy some vegetables or something that you come, she know how much time it will take. Okay. So maybe I take 5 minutes or 30 minutes to go for the come of the process. Now that is the expectation she has. When John goes to market and come back, it takes 30 minutes. Now what if I completed the process quickly and coming? I have the bandwidth to call my friends or parents or relatives for another 20 minutes, so that every time when I go out and come, it always takes 30 minutes. Similarly, what he mentioned, if it is 0, then what will I do? For 1, it is taking 10 nanoseconds. For 0, it is taking 1 nanosecond. After 0, you do something like, hi, how are you? Wait for 9 seconds. So whether it is 1, it will take 10. Whether it is 0 also, it will take 10. So overall, when it comes out, it's equal. So whatever be the input combination, the function will take always uniform amount of time. That's called bluffing. Because I should know what the thief is thinking. Huh? Whether I complete my activity in 1 unit or 7 units, always you will return. That is what is called malfunction. Or this condition is called like bluffing. Okay, let me see whether I have. Okay. So the process by which that I do is noise addition. Something is happening, I add some extra operation to do. What the other guy is doing, power consumption check, right? What is the issue? When he see a graph like this, then I come to know this is my point of attraction. Huh? In between, perform some square root of 20,000. So what happens? Square root of 20,000 means many other devices will work. Simply some prime number computation. There is no need to compute a prime number, but you make sure that your graph is like this. Okay. This is called noise addition. So there are lot many ways in which even for the devices the people are able to perform that to prevent side channel attack. Then don't tell that my chip is getting heated up. You cannot have something that is happening in Antarctica at the same time which is going to. So sometimes you have to balance across. The other aspect that I wanted to cover is called Trojans. Trojans are additional circuitry that is added which will behave differently upon a trigger is being given. So hardware Trojan is a malicious circuit inserted in an IC that can alter system behavior to produce undesirable consequences. So Trojans is yet another important area that we in our lab works. So when you give your design to a third party can add some extra hardware components which will do something extra in a rare case. When the input bit, so now the Trojan has to be triggered. As long as you are not triggering it, the circuit is normal. When this will get triggered, let's say my input pattern is like this, then only the Trojan will work and then I will get a different output, altered output that has been there. So this trigger, only the person who wanted to put the Trojan that is going to be there. Trojans are generally used by a rogue employee. Today I am working in Samsung. I know that Samsung didn't increase my salary. All these examples, don't tell in any place. Sir told about Samsung is bad. No, Samsung is not going to increase my salary. I am looking to Qualcomm. I gave already notice period and they are not helping me. Suddenly I am completing my work, okay. This time I got a design, okay. Let me add another 4 more. This design is anyway going. No, I am doing. Ideally I am supposed to do rogue employees which are unhappy employees, and if they happen to get some of these designs, then they can add up something more, or I am being bribed. I work in a company, I am telling, okay, this particular design go into the automotive or the autonomous car of Maruti, and Hyundai is contacting me. John, just add another 3 more gates, such that when you apply brake, suddenly speed increases by 2. Not on every day, only on January 25, some date. So that it is not caught. Or you put something in such a way that you tell, okay, everything is okay, this chip has to malfunction on the 3rd Sunday of August. So I can put in date, I can put in the work. The chip should all work. Whenever the car is coming to Lucknow, so then GPS will work, then only the accident should happen. Something I can configure in different way. I'll put it and I'll telling you, I'll pay you this much. And I agreed for that. So rogue employees, these unauthorized users, all these are going to have creating the problems. Now, four important attacks that generally happen in edge devices. One is called DDoS attack. You might have heard about it. Distributed denial of service attack. Okay. What is DDoS? Availability of system busy. Okay. I like a girl. I wanted to talk to her. But the other student who is very studious in the class always asked doubt to her. So whenever I wanted to go and talk to this girl, this guy who is very studious is continuously asking her, and she is also studious. She is helping. It is a denial of service. He knows that, I have some affection to this girl. So I have to be prevented in talking with this resource. So what he is do? He is continuously trying to give. I wanted to book a ticket in the Air India website. The others is continuously writing program as if they are booking tickets. They are faked, generated by robots, which will continuously check. That will decrease or that will reduce the speed at which I can go for booking. Then I feel, okay, Air India site is bad. Let me go to SpiceJet. Let me go to Indigo. Simple. It's called denial of service attack. Then side channel attacks we learned, malware injection and authentication. I will tell you in the interest of time. Okay. So malware means we have always, whenever it is able to connect, I have a client and I have a server. So put up some software which is going to run a piece of code which will delay me. So either from the server side or from the client side. So unauthorized entry into some devices. For example, I will tell you, I am asking you to search for top 100 students in GATE exam. I am filing the query. But the query get transformed because of a malware as top 10,000 students in the GATE. It will go and search in database. It takes more time. And then ultimately I am giving only 100. I am doing an extra operation which is a time consuming operation, the result of which my execution becomes slower. I will repeat once again. I want X. I want to search X rows from a database. But because of the malware, rather than searching X, it goes for X to the power of 10 rows in the database, get the data and then perform one more filtering. So ultimately the end user get the same thing. He feels something wrong in the software. This is yet another category of denial of service attack that has been there. Now, one of the category of attack is known as dictionary attack. Dictionary attack means I know what is the keyword or password attack. See, dictionary attack is very simple. This is my ATM pin. How many digits? 4. So I start with morning. Today morning after breakfast I am starting 0000. I typed. Not working. 0001. Not working. 0010. Not working. If I type up to 999, then will it work?
Yes. Brute force.
It's a brute force. It will work. That's why after 3 times it gets blocked. Or else I go with a chair and a table, sit in the ATM counter and start from morning to evening, I will crack it. This is dictionary attack. What happens in dictionary? A, then B, then C. Systematically starting from the beginning, apply all possible combinations systematically and then you will do. So dictionary attack can be prevented. After 3-4 logins, login is being blocked. Do you know the difference between authentication and authorization? Yet another classical question for people working in security. Yeah.
Authentication means when user has access to the system.
Yes.
And authorization means the resources he can access.
Yeah.
Is it kept authorized to that resources or not?
Yes. So authentication and authorization. Authentication means who am I? Okay? Who am I? So when you enter into IIT, only staff and students of IIT can enter. So you have a valid ID card. The process of a security identifying you and permitting, that is called authentication. You have an identity. Now suddenly you are going, I have an identity. Go to director's office directly and security is asking, hey student, why are you stopping me? You are not allowed there without permission. You are authenticated, but you are not authorized for that capability. What is the capability? Entry into a VIP room. Okay, going into the Senate room, board room. Even I don't have that authentication power. So sometimes security happens when an unknown user enters into the system It is an authentication attack. Okay? I'll repeat once again. I had a case of a student who was terminated, but he stayed in the hostel for 1 year. Yeah, he was staying in the hostel for 1 year. It is an authentication problem. The moment you are terminated, you no longer have an identity, but still you are staying inside the campus. It's a security problem. It's a stranger who is staying. Unfortunately, our hostel system could not find it out. For 1 year, he was staying, not even in the hostel. He don't come to the classes, he was in the hostel. Now, you are a student, but you are not supposed to do certain activity. That kind of privilege. So, I am a genuine user in the system, but I am supposed to open folder A, but not folder B. How can they prevent me in stopping from B, but I should be permitted to access A? That is what is known as an access control. It is an authorization mechanism. So, people play around with this. Once you get control over this, unauthorized users are allowed. Users with faulty privileges are being given. So, in short, to summarize, hardware trojans can happen in the form of DOS attack. What does DOS attack means? Someone else is trying to see, source wanted to send something to destination. Somebody else is always contacting destination with rogue packets. So, the destination will get slowed down, source will get delayed. You may look, all diagram looks same. No, all diagrams are not same. Second one is spoofing attack. Spoofing means man in the middle. They are talking something in between, I am enjoying the show. Okay, someone is chatting in the WhatsApp. So, I am looking at it. Okay, that is spoofing. Huh? There is a small difference in it. I am able to spoof means this. Eavesdrop means I will get, spoof means I will act also. You can change it. I just got it. So, this is correct. Eavesdropping is I got it. I'm just enjoying the show. The other one, I enjoy and I create little bit of extra work as well. And then we told about side channel attack. So, the general countermeasures in side channel attack is what I told, masking or blinding. What is masking or blinding means? Perform extra operation such that somebody who watch my power trace will not be able to get it. Hiding. Hiding means breaking the relation. Both are kind of adding some extra operation in order to do. The last portion before I conclude, I wanted to talk, any device that is working, it has a memory. It's a cache memory and a processor and a cache. So, we do all the encryption all in software. Ultimately, while storing in the memory, it is raw. 2 is stored as 0010 only. It's a plain text. In cache memory, where processor and cache talk each other. I will store in memory in hybrid format this unencryption that is happened. Now, my AES has a key, right? What is the key? Key is a 32-bit key, for example, 32 or 128, whatever category bit key that is been saved in memory. Now, cache memory, there is a peculiarity. Two programs are working. I am A with the main processor reading my AES metrics. Now, I am also parallelly working in the system. I somehow write my program in such a way that I am also mapped into the same location. So, when I work, I replace this guy and put my thing. I have no idea where the code is saved. Multiple attempts, I get to know that my AES is mapped to set number 4 in my cache. Somehow, I also, after multiple attempts, get access to set number 4. So, this happens, let us say in main memory, this is your main memory, and imagine, let us say I have 0 to 15. 15 blocks are there, and I have a cache with 4 blocks. So, 0 get mapped to 0, 4 get mapped, 8 get mapped, and 12 get mapped to 0. Similarly, 1, 5, 7 all get mapped. So, my AES matrix is here. So, when I run, where it will come? It will come to 0. And my program is stored in 12 in main memory. As per the principle, what happened? The contents of 0, contents of 4, contents of 8th block, contents of 12th block, whenever they wanted to execute, they all will come to 0. So, without any harmless thing, I will run my program in 12 and simply tell, can you execute me? Yes, I will execute. What will I do? 0 is evicted out and then my program runs. Okay? And then, okay, I have put some data. I am a simple useless program. Now, my actual AES program will run. This time, the program will experience a delay. Why? I have to evict mine and bring the AES matrix once again there. So, AES previously, when I am not working, AES used to take 40 40 nanosecond. When I put my dirty game inside, AES is taking 60 nanosecond. I have no idea where AES get copied, okay. Now with this what I understand is, oh, something pertaining to the working of AES is stored in a place which is conflicting with my location. So this is your key, okay. Still we don't get the key. I only get about the execution time. This is called localization of the key that is there, okay. Now what happens when I evict in cache memory, say the processor at the time of manufacturing, I have no idea whether it is used for an AES encryption. Manufacturing happens in Taiwan, it is coming to Guwahati, you are working on a hardware security project, you use AES. I have no idea whether you will use it or some LKG boy use it for playing games, I have no idea. There is something called victim buffer. When I evict from cache, it is an optimization to improve performance. The recently evicted cache block is kept there. As if I am writing a letter. You have seen in movies, no? Love letter I am writing. It's not coming correct. Put it here. Again I am writing. So after some time you see lot many things. Suddenly I feel the grammar of that is correct. Had I been thrown it out, I will not get. So recently evicted blocks, I open it. Yeah, this sentence is correct. So there is a buffer which is called victim buffer. Recently evicted cache that has been there. I can write programs to read victim buffer. Okay. So did I steal the key? No. The key was handled because the hardware is designed in such a way that for him some data is coming. It was a sensitive data. Such a kind of privilege is not given in hardware. So this victim buffer can be easily read. I have special this instruction also to read victim buffer. So when I only need to do is he has to throw out, and my job is simply to make him throw out, and then you get the key. Okay, hardware security specialists are so much required. So this is a combination of whether you get a hit, whether because of my activity you miss, or the pattern, and this is the way how to work it out. So the entire thing that can be done, there are miss-based attacks. This is the classical paper. If those who wanted to read it, it is from, but all these good papers are from China and Chinese people working in US. That's why Trump is not happy. Miss-based attack, his when all these who, he, who, those names are like this. With all due respect, they are great researchers. Miss-based attack, hit-based attack, timing-based attack, and access-based attack. There are 4 categories of this. Those who want the slide, anyway, I will put it, and you can even write to me, come to me. This is an area where we are working on the last 2 years. Based on a miss, you observe the pattern. You observe when miss occurs, and as part of the miss, what will the real hardware do? You chase that and find out. Just like I am throwing paper down. Okay. So I am putting all these things that has been evicted out, and there is a harmless Didi will come and clear the waste basket. That is valuable data. So that making him do the eviction, that is a process that is being done. So there are different kind of security mechanism that is been there by in caches itself. So here the problem was I was in 0, that get mapped to 0. I was in 12, that get mapped to 0. That is known, right? That is what we learn in computer organization course. What do you have to do? Simply change it. Here you apply a hash. You are from 0, no? Why do you want to know where you wanted to go? I will decide. You are from 0, I will put in 7. You are from 12, I will put in 5. I change the hardware so that memory to cache where it goes. Why do you bother? I will give you space in cache memory. You don't bother too much about it, you will run faster. So the other person is not able to find out. This is called an encrypted address. When you move from one memory to another, rather than giving him predefined location, I apply some hashing mechanisms such that I am going to put it in a different way. Okay. Similarly, cache is considered to be direct mapped. What is called direct mapped cache? For every location, there is a predefined location, like 0 goes to 0, 5 goes to 1, okay, 9 goes to 1. So for outside world, I will tell I am a direct mapped cache. But internally, I am a fully associative cache. Okay. And what am I doing? I am evicting. That is a problem, no? He is predicting my hardware. So what will I do? One morning, simply come and evict some guy. Okay. Sometimes I got a hit. I don't return the data. I declare it as that data is not here. Actually, I have my data in the cache. And what is other guy doing? I give an address, quickly coming back. What does it mean? It's a cache hit. I give something, it is not coming back quickly. That means it was missed, it is going back. So I study the pattern based upon how much time you take for responding. Quickly responding, slowly responding. When I quickly respond, it's a cache hit. When I slowly respond, it's a cache miss. Now you are giving me an address. I know what is his mentality. Okay, I have the data. Oh, it is not here. Please bring it. I put it. Oh, then his computation goes wrong. So in between, randomly, one morning and coming out, and I am telling you, there is so many people coming, kindly you move out. I am flushing him out. But actually there is nobody coming. So in between, I am trying to flush out someone. And what is this guy watching? What is flushed out? And he believes that is the AES key. So to outside world, I tell one is my working. Inside the world, there is a lot of randomization or fakeness that is produced. So to handle, sometimes you will tell to handle security problem or hacking, you will employ some hacker because he understands the mentality of a thief. So you need some good thieves to understand how he thinks. So this is the classical way. You have a fully associative cache, you have a random permutation cache, and sometimes generally cache is filled based upon CPU is asking, I want this address. You go to memory. So what will I tell memory? CPU asked me something, the location of 4000, it was not there. Can you give me? No, CPU didn't ask anything. I am talking to memory. CPU asked me 8000, can you give me? So generally our notion is processor will tell an address, I search in the cache, cache is not able to supply that, then I go to main memory and then I will tell. In between, I start an integrity attack. What is that kind of attack called? Confidential. Actually, processor didn't ask anything. My cache is intelligent enough to tell that, hey, some 8000 asked. So what happens? Randomly something is being called. So what he is feeling, somebody is asking in the memory, oh, he is asking 2000. That means processor is having AES key in 2000. Okay, he is asking 2000 for a pakka. 2000 to 2800 is the complete code. But I am not able to understand why he is asking 8000 between. Oh, 8000 may have something else also. So in between I am bluffing. What I am doing is I randomly, this is called random fill. But it was a best paper award. It is not that a great idea. Only thing is, when the attacker is looking at a pattern, you break the pattern. You mimic. Random fill, random eviction. Bring random guy, bring random. Generally, our cache, whom I evict? Least used block. Let us say my algorithm, I will tell in my brochure. My cache eviction policy is least recently used. Okay? But I will evict somebody else. So I am looking at who is least recent. Oh, this is evicted. But internally it is working in a different fashion. So secure processor's cache is different from a conventional processor. So that this kind of attacks can be prevented. Now this is blocking lot of guesses that is there, and we even proved this, that this works. Because I am a great fan of those Chinese group. We worked on some papers together also. So that is the way how it has been. So I was just trying to give you, ultimately in device level also, a lot of security protocols are there. And we have a good hardware security group also that is working. And we work at IoT security level and hardware security level also. It's a very exciting field. And then India moving to making India's own processors like the Vega, the Shakti, Ajit processors, and India's own operating system called Bharos that is running on top of it. We require a lot of people who work in broader the security aspects of it. So hardware implementation, so we need good hardware controls for securing systems, and ultimately at system level we have security, at hardware level we have security, sometimes at device level also we have to go for security, but this level of attack has not happened. This is happening at this different level. Those who like security, these are all my bedtime hobbies. read these books, why hardware security is an important concern. And PhD scholars and master students should invest at least 5,000 rupees of your scholarship on reading books. If that is not happening, somewhere you may get a job, but you will not make a career. Some company will recruit you, some college will take you. Ultimately, what an IITian, once you go out, the expectation of the society when there is a PhD or a master's degree from an IITian, the benchmark is very high. It's not about CPI, it's not about how you perform in an interview, it's about how can you continuously demonstrate excellence in the place of work. Continuous demonstration of excellence for another 3 decades will not be as easy like passing an interview or getting a paper accepted. It's something that your fundamentals has to be very strong. You should know what is happening. Technology news, you have to be well aware in whatever domain that you read, and you should be able to give presentations as much as possible. You should be able to describe your area of research to a class 8 student. Okay? At the end of that, he or she should get excited. Some of your parents may not be able to know much about computer science or electronics. Can you talk about what you do to them and make them understand? Computer illiterates can understand. The third version is you should be able to talk to BTech students who know a little bit of the subject, still you are able to convey. And the final category is you should be able to talk to the experts in the system. The moment you can handle all these 4 crowd, you have 4 versions of your own research problem, your own solution that you can articulate, you will make a career. At the age of 40 or 45, you will enjoy. Or else every day is a struggle. So I generally tell this, there is always a mad rush to get Lakshmi in hand. That's about money aspect. Okay? But if you chase Saraswati as much as you can by attending programs, getting the knowledge, as much as, because you are studying for the highest degree, then you are chasing Saraswati. Lakshmi will automatically follow. So this is what is then expected out of students from higher education. Can you talk 3 hours non-stop on your topic with excellence of presentations? It requires a lot of skill. It won't come in single day. That is the expectation out of a master's student or a PhD student. When you talk about my paper didn't get accepted, paper got rejected, supervisor is not available, these are all low-hanging fruits. It's your career. It's not the degree that's important, it's a career that you make it out that is important. It is not an Olympics where the fastest is crowned. PhD completing in 2 years, 3 years, that is not important. Whenever that you complete, when you come out, we have rejected people with 18 transactions not considered for a faculty position. 18 transactions. We have considered people with only 1 transaction got into faculty position. So it's not the number. Ultimately, do you really know what you really do? So I'm sure that this kind of courses or programs that you run will give you some kind of an impulse and go and read. Spend 1 hour on solid reading outside. Okay. So if you are from electronics or computer science, can you go to mechanical then engineering and then speak about your topic and still they find this exciting without preparation? Without preparation is must. And try to engage in whatever teaching assistants work that you do. Try to do more on it. This is the way how it become helpful. What is that? Your supervisor or teacher will take some lectures. You prepare some problem sheets on it. You give it to them. That's the way how you grow. That's the way how your subject fundamentals is being built. Or else, one among the many masters or PhD IIT system produced, nowhere, no one will know you. But if you really want at the age of 45 someone should know you, you have to put in that extra effort. And extra effort comes with going through this unglamorous phase of creating your own brand. And that brand makes career, not the degree, not the publication. Okay. On a Sunday, when there is a technical talk, which is not related to your thesis, not related to your master's project, no attendance compulsory, will you go and attend? That shows the class. If you don't have that class without any compulsion, one among 1000 PhD scholars which IIT system produced, one among the 20,000 master students IIT system produced. That is what is out of it. So even if it was a very few number for the GAN course, some lectures may be interesting, some lectures may not carry that much of a value, But everything is a learning opportunity. Consider the learning opportunity well. Okay, lot many things to read. The very interesting articles which I read in the last 3-4 years. Slide. Yeah, it's there in the YouTube. You can anyway. You can come to me and then take. Okay, so that's all from my side. Any questions? Was it useful?
Not a question, but a comment. You were talking about the Chinese example of African microphones, and a couple of slides later you were talking about hardware trojans. I got reminded of the recent Mossad attack via the pagers.
Pages were blasted.
So they were also outsourcing to some company. It is a fake company. So that
You generally don't know. This happened in the Israel pager. Don't know how many of you know about the pager story. 50% of IITians don't know there is a blast that happened there, because it is not concerning to our publication, not concerning to our placements. So people don't know. Equipment in your pocket which is there with you for 2 years is blasting. Someone else is controlling. So they planned 3 years before where this all will go. That's the precision at which it is been striking. This Chinese video of African nations, that video is available in YouTube. You can just watch a very good video. If some of you want, just ask me a link, I'll send it. Lot many security threat attack. Any other comments? Okay then, thank you very much, which we'll complete now. So tomorrow Deepika is taking care of the exam, right?
Yes.
Here or? Time is?
10 to 10.
10 to 2. Okay. So thank you so much. Have a good day.